Hello everyone, welcome to Cope Uipath. It's me Rakesh Gupta and today we are going to build a project on REFramework. So for this particular video, I am assuming that you are clear with the concept of REFramework and you just wanted to know how to implement REFramework in runtime or any project. Okay, so in this video we will see we are just going to focus on something that we will see how to add item in queue, then how to use get app credential if you are not getting it into the REFramework. I will let you know what I mean by this. Okay, then how to avoid duplicate item in queue, this also I will explain you. Okay, and then how to add business exception. So let's start. Let me open the Uipath first. So we will do everything from the scratch so that you can have a clear idea about the REFramework, how to implement the REFramework. Okay, so now what I am going to do, I am going to take a fresh REFramework template and let me name it as UiDemo using REFramework. Okay, and I am going to put in same into the description. Okay, now I will hit the create button. So it's loading the dependency and all that. Now I will hit the open main workflow. Okay, and this is my application on which we are going to work. So basically what we need to do, we need to log in into the application and then here we will fill up all the details, cache in, on us check, not on us check, and then we will click on the accept button, and this field cache in and these two fields we are going to take it from the orchestrator queue. Okay, now let me do one thing. So let me go into the initialization part and I will click on the expand on. Okay, so init all settings. So here what we will do, so one moment, yeah, so we are initializing all the things here. So basically here we are reading the config file. So let me put my queue name in the config file, okay, so that we can read it on the runtime. So this is my config file. So this is the default queue name, but I am going to change it with the actual queue name. So for that, let me go into the orchestrator and let me create a queue. So queue name I am going to give it as UiDemo queue. Okay, and unique reference I am going to set it no, and max retry option I am going to set it as 2, and I am going to copy this queue name. Okay, and I will click on the add button. So here we have created a queue and the same queue name I am going to give here. Okay, now let me create the asset as well because we need user ID and password. So I am going to create an asset of credential. So I will give the asset name as UiDemo credential and the type will be credentials and the username is admin and the password is password for that particular application, this application I am talking about. Okay, and I will hit on create button and let me create an asset of flag also. I will let you know what is the use of this flag. So I'm just going to write it flag queue and the type will be boolean and initially I'm going to set the value as true. Okay, so this is my flag and let me define it here, flag underscore queue and the value will be flag queue. Okay, now we are done and let me delete this asset sheet because we are not going to use this. So I'm going to just delete this and save and close. Okay, now come to Uipath and here we will delete this part, try initializing asset, because I am not going to use this. So I will simply delete this. So this entire thing, init all setting, it will read the configuration file and put everything into dictionary item key value pair. Okay, we need to add the item into the queue. Okay, so normally we have a different dispatcher, that are not included in the RE framework. But if you have to add the dispatcher in the RE framework, so we will always add the dispatcher in the first run. Okay, so this blue highlighted line, you can see this is the entire first run. So if you have to add the dispatcher in the RE framework, then you will add only here, only in the first run. So let me take a sequence for that. I'm going to name it as a dispatcher, but it's not a best practice. We should always write the dispatcher outside the RE framework. Okay, now let me take a read range activity, and I'm going to use this Excel file for the dispatcher. So let me paste it here. And now I will select this Excel file, app data. Let me delete this part. And here the sheet name is app data. Okay, I will open and I will show you app data. Okay, if I will open this sheet, you can see the sheet name is app data, and here if you will see, these are some alphabet character. Okay, so I have deliberately put this alphabet character so that I can show you the business exception, because on our application it will only accept the numeric character. So like if this is not the numeric character, so this will go into the business exception. So why it will go into the business exception? Because it doesn't matter how many times we are retrying this item, this will always give me the error. Okay, so this kind of scenario will go into the business exception. Okay, now if you have to add to the queue, so there are two ways. Either we can use the add item to queue, add queue item, or we can use the bulk add queue item. So as of now I am going to use bulk add queue item, and this, whatever the files we are reading, I am just going to store it into a dt dispatcher. Okay, and I will pass the same data table name here, dt dispatcher, and the queue name. So queue name, so this is my queue name, right? So I will copy this name and I will pass it here. So config, and then the queue name dot toString. Okay, now it's done. Let me go back. Let me verify other things as well. Okay, okay, and here we need to close the application as well. So it's always a best practice that on let's say currently I am working into this Excel and this UiDemo. Okay, so I will kill these two processes before we start our project. So let me take a kill process activity, and I am going to take two kill process activity because we have to kill two processes, right? So the first one is Excel and the second one is UiDemo. Okay, and here make a note that I am not putting excel.exe or uidemo.exe because I am passing the process name. So simply I will pass the Excel. So this is done. Then I have added the code for dispatcher. Now init all application. Okay, so here we need to initialize the application. So for that, first I will take the application, use application browser. Okay, now let me open this application first. So I will simply indicate on the application. So remember here I am using use application. Okay, this activity, use application or browser. So this is the modern activity. If you want to use the classic activity, so you can simply click on this filter icon and you can click on show classic. So in this way you will get this activity. So if you are using the classic activity, then you will get this option open application, or in the modern activity you will get this activity use application or browser. Okay, so now here I have defined the application and let me do some setting. So here I will choose close never. Okay, and then open I will choose if not open. Okay, so now I am done with this activity. Now I need to log in into this application. Okay, so for that let me see whether I am having get app credential or not. So here you can see in the framework I don't have any get app credential. Okay, so nowadays I don't know why, but if you will choose the template from here, so you will not get app credential activity. So for that what we can do, we can simply go to Chrome and type here Uipath and then GitHub. And from here I will download the older version of REFramework. So I have already downloaded that. Okay, let me download it again and I will show you. I will open the folder and let me extract it. So one moment, yeah, this one. Okay, so from here what I will do, I will go to framework folder and I will copy this get app credential. Okay, and I will paste it to my current folder. Okay, so this is my current folder where I am working. So I will simply paste it here. And then I will go to Uipath project and I will hit the refresh button. So now you can see I have the get app credential activity. Okay, so now let me take the get app credential before opening the application, because to log in into the application we will require user ID and password, right? That we have defined in the orchestrator. Here we have defined it, UiDemo credentials. Okay, so if I will open the get app credential, so you can see I am getting the error message. Okay, here you can see I am getting the error message, could not find get secure credential. So for that what we have to do, I will go into the manage package and here I will type credential and I will take this activity uipath.credential.activity. Okay, but make sure that you select this one, this version. If I will select 2.0, so let me show you. Even after installing this activity, the issue will not get resolved. So you can see I have downloaded the activity package, but also even after the downloading the package I am getting this error. So what we have to do, this is a bug in the Uipath. Okay, so what we have to do, we will go into the credential and I will select this version and I will click on the update button and then I will hit the save button. So now you can see once I have downgraded the package, so now I am not getting any error. Okay, so here in the get app credential, here in the get secure credential, I will pass here the name of our asset. So what is the name of my asset? UiDemo credential. Okay, so I will pass it here. So it's a string value, that's why I am putting it into the double quote. So now we do not need to do anything. Okay, because if you'll see the entire code of this, so this has been written in such a way that first it will take the credential from the orchestrator here if the credential is not found, here you can see credential is not found, then it will request the credential from you. You will get a pop-up message, and there you have to put the user ID and password, and then it will store that credential into your Windows credential. And if you are not providing any user ID and password, so it will throw you the error message saying no credential. Okay, so that's why we have used this get app credential. Okay, so now let me close this. Okay, now I'll simply click on the import argument, and whatever the user ID and password we are getting using this credential, so I will store it here. So I will create a variable user ID, and then I will create one more variable pwd, which will be my password. Okay, so it's giving me the error message. Let me go into the variable and okay, now everything is okay. Okay, now what I will do, I have opened this UiDemo application. Now we have to type the user ID and password. So for that, what I'm going to do, I will go into the activity, and I'm just going to off this show classic. Okay, it's already off. So now I will take a type into activity. So this is the modern activity. Okay, so that's why you will see it's like this. Okay, in the classic activity you will not get this option. I will take two type into activity, one for the user ID and one for the password, and I will take one click activity as well. So now for this I will indicate on the user ID. Let me open the application. Then I will confirm this. Same I will do for the password. Confirm this. And then I will take a click activity to click on this login button. Okay. Click on confirm. Done. So now I need to type the user ID here. So I will simply type user ID. So this is the user ID that I am getting using the get app credential. Okay. And for the password, I will choose the secure, because from there I am getting the secure password, and I will select pwd. Okay. Now we have clicked on the login button. So done for this. Initialize application is done. Now let me see if I have anything else to do here. So now here nothing to do. Okay. Now I will go to main, and then we will navigate to get transaction data. Okay. So here I will open this workflow get transaction data. And this is get transaction item. Okay. So here they have already given the orchestrator queue name that I have defined in this config file. Okay, so no need to change anything. Now I will go down, and then here I am getting the option to define the transaction item. So let me do one thing. First, this field we need to customize it as per our need. Okay, so in my case I am having three value. One is the cash in. Let me open this Excel file. So transaction item can be different for different use case, right? So in my use case, I have the cash in, on us check, not on us check. We are having three transaction items. So I will copy this also, and this also. Okay. Now what I am going to do, I will just rename this. Okay, so let me open the argument, and for the transaction field 1, instead of that I will put cash in, and there should be no space between that. Then for the transaction field 2, I will put the on as check, and I will remove the space, and I will create one more argument because we are having 3 transaction item, right? So not on as check, sorry, not transaction item, transaction data. Transaction item is this entire value will be one transaction item, this will be the second transaction item, this will be the third transaction item, and these are the transaction data. Okay, and here let me increase the scope as well. Okay, argument type will not a scope, argument type will be the string, and direction will be out. Okay, and yeah, everything good. Now I will make a copy of this, and here I will write out underscore not on as check. Okay, and so here instead of string.empty, because we need the transaction data, right? So I will write out underscore transaction item dot specific content, and then I will write here cash in. Okay, dot to string, and I'm just going to copy this, and just I will change the cash in part, and instead of cash in, what I will do, on as check, and here okay, mistake. Here I will put not on as check. Okay, so now we have taken the transaction data, these 3 transaction data. So done for this. Now I will close this, and here I will click on the import argument. So here I have the 3 arguments, so I will define the value for that. So I am just going to create a variable cash in, then control K, on as check, and then I will create one more variable not on as check. Okay, so this part is done. Now from here till here we have fetched the data from the orchestrator. Now we do not need to do anything. I will go into the main, and then I will go into the process transaction. Okay, so here what we have to do, I will open this workflow process transaction, and then till now what we have done, we have logged into the application. Okay, so now fill the value one by one. Okay, So for that, let me take a type into activity. So I hope guys I am making it clear to you. If you have any doubt, then you can put it into the comment section and I will try to reply as soon as possible. Okay, and then I will take a click activity. So indicate on the screen. Okay, so this we can use only within this use application browser. Okay, so let me take a use application and I will indicate the entire application here. And now I will put this part into do section. So just drag and drop. So start using the modern activity because nowadays, I mean, they have launched the modern activity. So we should practice on the modern activity only. So that's why I have taken the modern activity. Okay. Now I will indicate on the screen. Confirm it. Again, I will take the on as check. Confirm it. Then one for the not on as check. I will click on the confirm button. Then I will click on the accept button. Okay. Now we need to pass the data into this, right? So for that, what I will do, I will just create 3 arguments. Okay, one is in_cache in, second one is in_on us check, and third one is in_not on us check. And I will pass it here. Okay, in_cache in_on us check, and in_not on us check. Okay, so why I have taken an in argument, not out argument? Because here when we will use this process, so this particular process will require the argument, right? It will not give you anything. We have to give the input, and this input it will type here. So you can understand that this particular process is demanding the argument. That's why I have taken the direction as in. If you'll see here, so I have taken the direction. Yeah, I have taken the direction as in, not out. Okay. Now I will click on this. So that's done. Let me close this. And now I will click on the import argument. And for this value, what I will do, I will pass the. Okay, let me do one thing. The variable that I have created here for the get transaction data, cache in, cache out. So I will increase the scope of that variable so that we can pass it. So for that, let me go here. Okay, so I have cache in. So I'm just going to increase the scope to general business process so that I can use it into the process transaction. Okay. Done. I will click on the save button. I will go into the process transaction and then I will click on the import argument. and then I will type cache in. Then for this on as check, and this one will be the not on as check. Okay, so till now we have defined the process. Now one thing we have to define, that what if we are getting the, for this cache in, what if we are getting the alphabet value? Okay, as you can see here I have given some alphabet value, right? So what if we are getting the alphabet value? So that should go into the business exception. So for that, what I am going to do, before doing all this process, I will take a if activity, if, and here what I will do, I will write a code to check whether it's numeric or not. Okay, so we have three value. Okay, in underscore cache in, so dot is numeric, and in underscore on as check dot is numeric, and in underscore not in underscore not on as check dot is numeric. Okay, so by this way I am just making sure that these are the numeric value. Okay, if this is not a numeric value, so if this is the numeric value, then only we will write into the application, right? And if this is not the numeric value, so in that scenario what I will do, I will simply throw an exception, and I will define that exception as a business exception. Okay, so I am taking a throw activity here, and here what I will do, new business rule exception, and the message that I will pass, given input is not numeric. So the same value will get updated into the orchestrator, numeric. Okay, and I will close this bracket. So I have defined the business exception as well. Now here we are closing all the application. Okay, so I have to write the code to close the application. So for that, what I will do, I will take the same activity, use application or browser. I will indicate it, and this time instead of opening it, I will close it. Okay, so here in the open I will choose never, and in the close I will choose always. Okay, now done. So we have written the code to add the value into the orchestrator queue here. So now let me run, and I will show you how it's running. Let me close everything. One thing we have left, as per this, we have seen this how to build the project on REFramework. Then we have seen how to add item to queue. GitHub credential we have covered. This thing we have left, we will cover this, how to avoid duplicate item in the queue, and this add business exception we have covered. Okay, so now let me run this. And if I will go to queue, so it has opened the application. So you can see I have one queue. So it's doing the execution one by one. So now let me do one thing. Let me close it from here. So I have deliberately closed this to show you something. Now if I will go into this view transaction, so you can see it has added all the items. Okay, so there are total 100 items. Okay, So if I will go to the last page, so queue work on the first in first out. So this is the first item that I have inserted, so that's why it has executed first. Okay, so now what will happen if I will run the bot again? Okay, so as we have now it has stopped, right? So this will be the first run. If I will show you here, so this is my first run, right? So as this is the first run, this time also it will add the run this code, dispatcher code, and it will add the item to the queue. So here what will happen, we are already having the item in the queue and then it's adding again. Okay, so it will be a duplicate queue item. So how to avoid that? Okay, so for that let me run it first, or let me do one thing. So if you remember, here I have created a asset. Okay, flag queue. Okay, and the value is, as of now it's true. So what I will do, before dispatcher I will take a get asset activity, and from here I will try to read the value of this asset. Okay, so if this is true, then only we will add the item to the orchestrator. So config flag queue dot to string, and I am going to store this value into a variable called flag queue. Okay, now I will take a if activity, and there in the if activity I will define pass this flag queue, and if this is true, then only execute this code. Okay, so let me delete this and I will put it here, and if this is not true, then we will do nothing. Okay, so here it's giving me the error message. So the output of this get asset will be boolean value, right? Because from there we are taking the boolean value. So flag queue output will be boolean value. Okay, now the error has gone. Now after uploading this queue or uploading this item to the orchestrator, I will take a set asset activity, and this time I will set it to false. Okay, so instead of true, now I am changing it to false. Okay, so I will simply false, and now once my execution will be completed in the end process, so after closing all the application, I will take another set asset activity, and this time I will simply set the value as true so that it can add the item to the orchestrator. Okay, once I will run this, I will show you. So now, okay, so now here the value is true, so that's why it will add the value to this queue, but let me set it false so that it will not add any value. So this I am doing manually, but after this run everything will happen automatically. Okay, so let me close this, and now let me run this. And I will show you the result also in the orchestrator, how it looks like. So I have added the business exception, and the system exception is already defined. I will show you that. So now let's say if I'm clicking on this withdrawal button, okay, so what will happen? Now it's not able to find that cash in selector, right? So what it will do, it will close the application, then it will initiate the entire thing again. So the default time is 30 seconds, so it will try to find the element for 30 seconds, and after that it will close the application and then it will initialize everything. And by the time, if I will go to this queue, so if I can show you, so it has closed the application and now it has opened it again, and then it will start processing the item. So let it process. So as you can see, the execution has finished, and if I will go to the output panel, so here you can see process finished due to no more transaction data. Okay, and let me go into the orchestrator and I will show you. So you can see everything is running fine. So here we are getting the business exception, and if I will open this, I will get the same message that I have defined. Given input is not numeric. Okay, and these are the application error for which we have retried. Okay, and if I will show you, so the entire execution has been finished. So let me do one thing, let me run it one more time. So first I will set it true. Okay, it has been set as true. Now let me delete some data. Actually I'm having huge number of data, so I'm just going to run it for the 10 data or 15 data. So let me take only this much data. Okay, and I'm going to delete the rest of the part. So now it's done. Okay, so now what will happen, even if I will stop the execution from here, let me show you. So now it will add the item to this queue. Okay, and now even if I will stop the application Uipath, so let me stop the Uipath. So you can see I have stopped the Uipath. Now if I will go into this asset, so you can see the value is false here. Okay, so now if I will run this thing again, so it's not going to add the item in the queue. So let me show you. So you can see we are only having 12 data, and these all are executed data. Okay, so now even if I will run it, it will not add the duplicate item. Okay, so in this way we can avoid the duplicate item in the queue. So now it's going to log in and it will do the execution. So now what will happen if I will close this application? So if I will close this application, so it will open the application again because of the application exception, right? Until the time if I will refresh this queue. So this has been executed few seconds ago. So now it will wait for 30 seconds and then it will open the application again, because that is the application exception, right? So as you can see, it has opened the application and now it will start putting the value one by one again. So this is the business exception, that's why it's calculating it into the backend. So this time I have put only 12 data, so it will not take that much of time. So now the execution is completed, and if I will refresh this, so you can see for this we are getting the business exception, for this we are getting the business exception, for this we are getting the application exception. Okay, now the execution is completed. So if I will go to the output panel, here we can see process finished due to no more transaction data. And if I will go to the asset here, so we have set this value as true. So next time if you will run the same code, it will add the item to the queue and then it will execute it. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. Today we have seen how to build the project on REFramework. We have covered the entire thing using the orchestrator queue. Okay, then we have discussed about how to use bulk add to queue item, then get app credential. If you are not getting the get app credential, how you can get that, then how to avoid duplicate item in queue, and how to add the business exception. Application exception is already there in the REFramework, only business exception we need to add. So if you have any more query on REFramework, then you can put it into the comment section. And if you like this video, then please press the like button and subscribe my channel. Thanks.